Did you ever watch somebody who is maybe older or has some kind of a hip or a knee injury or has some weakness in the muscles of their legs when they try to stand up from sitting position? It can be a real ordeal from them. And you'll often see something like this where they'll put their hands, well, often on the chair or on the arm of the chair, and they'll push themselves up, and then they'll try to get on their legs, and they eventually manage to get it. And then coming back down is kind of the reverse of that, and you'll see that they usually fall the last couple inches, and they'll get a bump like that. Hi everybody, I'm Robert Spencer, and this is Moving Beyond. Today I want to show you an alternative to that way of getting up and down. It's very possible, in fact very easy, to find a way that you can rise from a sitting position or go back to a sitting position from standing in a way that doesn't involve all that strain and that pushing with your arms. With two simple movements, you'll find that you can come from the edge of your chair to standing without a problem and have it be, for most people, unless you have some acute problem, it'll be much more healthy and comfortable for your knees, your lower back, and your hips. Now, one of the things I'd recommend that you do is forget about the idea of up. I'll show you that there are two movements that involve moving forward with different parts of your body that will bring you to standing without having to push up. And the same thing, instead of thinking I'm going to go down, you'll find just reversing those two forward movements to two rearward movements will bring you to sit on the chair, on a stool, on a bench, whatever you have, without falling the last little bit.
Faye's going to model how to do this. She starts on a very high stool. This is the love of my life, by the way. Doesn't she do this beautifully? It's very easy from a bar stool, something of this elevation. The movement is pretty small. But she's soon going to take her learning down to a lower elevation, but not completely to the chair yet. On my bench here, she's sitting on 4 ordinary garden pads. These you can get at any hardware store or garden supply center. They're usually used for kneeling when you work in your yard. They work very well for this. So she does this a few times until it feels easy, until she can sit down without getting a bump, until there's no pressure to get up, and then she lowers it just gradually. Gradual lowering, gradually increasing the requirements of the task makes the transition very easy. Notice she does not get up. Forward with the head and shoulders, forward with the pelvis. Now back, back with the pelvis, back with the upper body. Once again, forward with the head and upper body, and then forward with the pelvis. She's not pushing the floor to get up at all. She's making this forward movement and then the back movement to sit. It's so easy. She goes down to 2. And you'll see again, forward and forward. This takes the strain off the knees. It's amazing. Now we'll fast forward a little bit, show how she can do it with just 1. And look, it's still really easy. Small transition. Lower it just a little bit at a time, and you'll hardly perceive the difference. And now she gets rid of that one. From what would ordinarily be a chair height for her, she makes the same forward movement, the same rearward and rearward movement, and that looks pretty good. One more for good measure.
Alright, I'm sitting far away from you now because I want to show you an auxiliary movement that will help you to learn this if you're having any difficulty. 2 things to remember first. Sit near the edge of your chair. If you have a soft chair, you need to scoot way forward in it. Learning this on a firm surface, a firm chair, is usually easier. Secondly, you can put as much elevation, as many pads or books or whatever underneath here to get your hips higher than your knees. If your hips are higher than your knees, it's much easier to stand and then to sit back down. Now eventually you can acquire the skill where you could get up from a very low bench where your hips are below your knees, but we're not worried about that right now. So if you're having difficulty getting this and you need a little more help, put some blocks or some books or pads underneath you so you get your hips a little higher, and then use this little trick. I'm going to raise my hands up over my head and make a movement of bringing my hands forward and down. And if I let my head and my shoulders and my arms go out here, that will be enough weight to bring me up off the table. Then if I raise my hands to the ceiling, look, my pelvis comes underneath me, I'm standing up with no problem. Then if I'm back with my arms up, I put that in reverse. I bring my arms and head forward in my toes, and I can soften my knees. This does not hurt my sore and damaged knees. And I can put my bottom on the chair as if if there was an egg there, I wouldn't be crushing it yet. I can just really adjust that. And then if I bring this back up, now I'm sitting and looking around. Okay, so it's pretty simple. This, coming forward, brings my head and my shoulders in front of my feet. And I put my hands up, and my pelvis comes underneath me, and I am standing. I reverse it, come down, soften my knees. And I have to get this, remember, I have to get this weight forward of my toes, and then it's okay. And then I come here, and I'm sitting. Now after I can do that comfortably, I don't have to have my hands so high. I might want to bring them down part way and do it. That still works, as long as it reminds me that I got to get weight forward of my toes. Not too much or I'll fall on my nose, just the right amount. After I can do it here, I can put my hands anywhere I want. It no longer matters. All right, next time I see any of you at a restaurant or out in public or in your home or an office or anything, and you stand or you sit, I'll know that you have the formula for doing that comfortably. All right, live long and prosper, my friends. We'll see you next time. Thank you.